Hello, my full Vice President report is available to you in the Bulletin of Reports, and I invite you to read it in its entirety to understand fully the joys and challenges our Synod Council and its officers and leaders have faced over the past year. And today, I simply want to highlight 3 of them. First, this past year, our Synod Council leaders and Synod staff have been living into our clear and concise mission and vision statements, with which we employ as we walk alongside our South Carolina congregations. I am grateful for our focused mission statement, equipping church leaders to develop impactful faith communities and disciples of Jesus. And I am grateful for a vision statement that gets to the core of what God seeks in our Synod. Every person in South Carolina experiencing God's love and grace. At every one of our Synod Council meetings, we open with reading these statements aloud and together so that it is always present for us as to what our why is. Why are we gathered? What is our purpose? And we have instituted space and time at each Synod Council meeting to discuss a topic creatively that might help us move the needle on ways to develop these impactful faith communities, to raise healthy rostered ministers, to foster partnerships, to seek creative means to share God's love and grace, and so much more. Second, at next year's in-person Synod Assembly, you will be voting for a new Synod Vice President as my 11-year term comes to an end. We all need to be considering what types of gifts are necessary for our next Synod Vice President, which is the highest elected lay position in our Synod. Since our Constitution doesn't give much direction on what the Vice President does or can do, besides, of course, chairing Synod Council meetings and Executive Committee meetings, that leaves a lot of room and freedom for this lay position. So I implore you to begin thinking about a child of God who can be trusted with much, who can be non-anxious in stressful situations, one who is willing to lead without much direction given, one who is organized and efficient, one who can invigorate other leaders to lead, one who is a team player and not an authoritarian, and one who is approachable. The ballot will be ecclesiastical per our Constitution and held at our in-person assembly in June 2025 in Columbia, South Carolina. If anyone has questions about what all is entailed in being the Synod Vice President, please reach out to me over the next few months, as I would be more than happy to meet or talk with you. My contact information is on our Synod's website, or you may contact the Synod office and they can get you in touch with me. Lastly, and most importantly, I do not do this Synod work alone. I'm fortunate to be joined by some really dedicated council members and officers who read copious amounts of documents for each meeting, who pray over decisions before they are made, who ask really deep, insightful questions, and are willing to roll up their sleeves and work on behalf of this assembly, our congregations, and our rostered ministers. And might I add, they do it with joy and no pay. So please join me in giving thanks to God for our Synod Council leaders, as well as our Synod Bishop and staff, who join me in this collective journey that we call Synod. Now may God bless each one of us as we continue in today's business and spiritual matters before us.